When you go through some real shit, you may speak some real shit. But this is why this could be good and bad. This could be good and bad because you got a lot of chit chat on the internet. Vanity, man. Vanity, lust, right? Nas got this line out. What Nas said, I'm gonna just keep it to myself. But let's just say it like this. If you're too in love, and when I say too in love, let me be careful with my words. When you're too in love with your ego, but you're not in love with yourself, right? There's a very large difference between the two, right? If you're in love with yourself, you're in love with God. You're in love with the universe. You're in love with everything that creates that, right? When you're in love with this idea of yourself, right? That's something that constantly needs validation. That's something that constantly needs somebody to like it, and we all suffer through that. We all have egos, but that's the game. That's the whole thing. Fuck the ego. The ego is only necessary for certain things. But what really matters is your relationship with yourself. And when you don't have that relationship with yourself, somebody will make sure to manipulate you. They will manipulate you. It doesn't matter if it's an algorithm, doesn't matter if it's a celebrity, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm in Hollywood, man. I'm in Hollywood. And Hollywood, let me tell y'all, what Kendrick said, master manipulator. Manipulators. Now, one more thing I want to talk about that I think is important to talk about. I did a video a couple months ago about this, but I want to tie it all together. We covered a lot. We covered Neuralink. We covered the relationship between electricity and brains and computers being powered by electricity. We didn't dive too deep into bits and how bits is zeros and ones, but essentially zeros and ones is what powers the computer. But we then tied that into, our vibrations and our frequencies and willpower, and how willpower is what drives us through, this life, right? And so we're tying all of these things together. We're connecting the dots on all of these things. And then we talked about what makes will, and will is a compound of consistency, patience, discipline, all of these things, right? All of the sexy shit that most people already know this. I'm not saying nothing that's new, right? I'm just connecting these dots. But here's the number one thing, and I've learned this particularly in my job, which is you can have a strong will. There are people in this world that have really strong wills. They will themselves through a lot of things. They're strong people, but they have no integrity. None. Oh, they out here in Hollywood for sure. Woo! See, I ain't famous and shit like that, so I'm good, man. Illuminati ain't coming to kill me and none of that. There's not a lot of integrity in human beings, period. But the business out here is like, you really see it, man. Coming from New York and then coming to LA and just having these worlds that I could right? Man, right? And it's good, you learn how to navigate whole set. I'm gonna teach you how to move in a room full of vultures, right? And the thing is this, a person that says, I have integrity, right? Integrity is something that just like a person is always trying to work towards, if you think about it. Like, I know I'm not sitting here saying, I don't know. God will judge that. Others will judge that. People that I interact with, they can speak on that. I can't do that. But be careful who you're listening to and watching, and they're having this persona, like they move with so much integrity, and they have willpower. Their will is but usually, and I've been around. Usually, you get around the energy that is selfish. It's about them, right? It's purely about them. Now, as a person, right, as a young Jedi walking in this world, once I peep it, I see it. I see it for what it is. Cool. And this is why it's important to understand your energy So when you come across another energy, there's no friction. There's no friction, right? What do they say in the Hermetics? The law versus the law, right? It's laws against laws. You see, this is lawyers. Lawyers do this, right? Oh, he put out that? Cool, we're gonna hit him with this, right? But this is happening spiritually. So again, just to connect the dots on this one, willpower. We need willpower, but don't go out there now. Go work on yourself and get confident. And hold on, man. Like not too long ago, you were insecure. You didn't feel too good, right? So now when you get your shit up, maintain that integrity. Maintain that same humbleness that got you to where you are. Because if you keep that, now you're in harmony. But if you don't keep that, here's the ill thing about it all. Remember, build or destroy, right? Discipline is required to build something and destroy something. Okay, let's go deeper. When you in a rhythm, right? You're in a rhythm, right? You're building. And then you could be in a rhythm and you're destroying. Man, fuck that. Destroying. Your environments can do this to you. The environment you're around can put you in a state like that. Everything that we talked about, the stuff that you're taking into your five senses, it can put you in these states, right? This is why when you take certain people out of certain environments and they go into a different environment, like, oh shit, I didn't even know. Like, and that's all it is, right? You hear people say we're product of our environment. It's real. We are products of our environment. However, your mental environment, and again, we can use the body to get to the mental, but sometimes the body gets disabled. Sometimes you can't do nothing with the bodies at some point. But when you tap into this and you start to realize, oh, I could choose what I want to do. Jay said, I keep quoting Jay. Obviously, I can tell I like Jay-Z. I like Jay-Z quotes. The motherfucker's like a philosopher. Jay said, don't go with the flow, be the flow, right? Like, you hear people go with the flow. Fuck that. Why? You know what's the funniest thing? I now, my relationship with social media is different. I took a huge break. I think I got on social media. I've probably been on social media for like 5 months at one point, right? I mean, I might poke in and see if there's any crazy messages, like if there was any emergencies or anything. But if people know me, they call me, they pick up the phone, they text me, right? And it's interesting that I would engage with people and they would assume that I know certain information about what's going on, like pop culture wise. It was interesting because I realized I didn't have to be on the phone to know what was going on. I just let the algorithm play out in real life. And it's sad. It's really sad because you really start to see how people are so immersed in things and they can't pull out of it, right? They can't pull out of it. So I want to bring it home because I don't want to keep talking about social media and all. I know a lot of this is going to be redundant, but I want to bring this all home. Your frequency, that is basically a rate of a vibration that you give off. Your energy. You control it. You control it by doing things, for example, like tapping into your will. Your will is the direct key to working on your willpower is through your body. Get up, go move your body, go get involved, go do something. Sitting is the new smoking. Sitting, being on the phone, not getting out, not challenging yourself. Weakening your will. Don't strengthen your will and get your head blown up. Don't. Why? The world is already fucked up. This is one of the reasons why I want to do the podcast. The world is really fucked up. So with the robots and all this shit that's coming, let's get it together. Let's start being civil again, right? Let's get to a place where when we engage with each other, we pay attention to a person's energy and go being a father teaches me that. I'll watch my daughter, she'll have a tantrum, and then I remember those moments where you had some of those patient teachers that would deal with you, and everybody else would be like, oh, this kid is a terror. And then that one teacher would kind of be like, what's wrong? What's going on with you? And it's ill because they immediately just go like, and they tell you what's wrong. And it's an interesting thing because you realize that, you know, through your ears, it's like, ah, like, you know, like a toddler yelling, but through that third eye, like you could peep what's going on. You can go, oh, there's something else. And you may not even know it entirely, but you can feel it. So once you start to feel it, you investigate it through rationality. You start to ask questions. You start to probe, right? This is the issue today. Last thing, then I'm done. The issue today is we're too much in our feelings. Everybody's in their feelings. Everybody. You need your feelings. Feelings are important. Tap into those feelings. Tap into them. Important. Go cry. Get you a therapist. Do all of that. Look, fitness is therapy. But, please understand your emotions even come about. Please understand maybe what is actually by design. Get interested in the design work, right? If you go to buy a house and you get an architect and they're like, look at the model of this house that we're gonna build. You may want to look at it. I mean, you don't have to, but depending on how much money you put down, you may want to look at it. If you don't look at it and you don't catch certain things and people don't walk you through certain things, you may miss some things, and then later down the line, you're gonna run into some issues. So, to me, it's about understanding the framework. Once you understand the framework, you begin to make better decisions and respond instead of just constantly being in a reactive state because you have emotions, right? The frequency today, everything is so fast. The information, the music. Why do you think kids are the way they are today? You think it's because every generation it gets bad. Yeah, it gets bad, but this shit is bad. Couple months, what was it, like a year or so, they had this song that was going viral that the little kid was like, I want to kill my mom, and all this stupid shit coming from the person that used to listen to Eminem and be like, and you know, people like, yo, but he talking about killing his mom. Yeah, I guess it's coming back full circle, but now it's different. Now it's different. You know, now, you know, we're living in a time where children are watching adults be drug addicts. And I'm not talking about the white girl. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they're drug addicts. Instagram. We get them grams off, right? And I think it's important. I think it's important to set parameters. Again, I'm not policing anybody. I'm not policing anything. These are my thoughts. These are my opinions. My opinions. It's just what I'm seeing. You know, everybody, they don't know how to like be anymore. And it's scary. It's scary because I'm sensitive to things. There's a lot of things that I'm like, I can't help but to see it and understand it and then try to figure out, well, number one, I gotta avoid it. And then number two, is there a way to correct it? And so when I work with people, when I coach with people, and I see people in certain energy states, that's always my goal, is how can I shift this person's energy so that way they can go out to the world now and they're good. And it works. Sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes you say something to somebody and it registers, sometimes it don't. And that's all right, that's life. But that's why I even wanted to do this podcast. Because, you know, partially because I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna watch it and be like, oh, that's some good shit. And some of it will be like, oh, that's bullshit. So a lot of it is me looking at it, self-evaluating myself. Eventually gonna have some guests on. But the thing is looking at the tools. And the tools are constant elevation, expansion.